It wasn't the screaming that broke me. If they had screamed, maybe I would have fought back. No, it was the casual way my mother said it. She said it while buttering a dinner roll at an expensive Italian restaurant, like she was discussing the weather. "Morgan, honey," she said, not even looking me in the eye. "Your father and I have been talking. And, well, with the wedding coming up next Saturday, we think it would be best if you didn't attend." I froze. My fork was halfway to my mouth. I looked around the table. I looked at my brother, Tyler the golden boy. He was swirling his red wine, smirking at his fiancée, Tiffany. "Excuse me," I choked out. "I think I misheard you." "You didn't." Tyler cut in, his voice dripping with that arrogance he'd perfected since high school. "Look, Morgan, let's be real. You're intense. You're always stressed. You have this heavy, dark energy about you. Tiffany and I want a good vibes only wedding. We want perfection. And honestly, you just don't fit the aesthetic." The aesthetic. I looked at Tiffany. She was inspecting her manicure, a manicure I had paid $200 for earlier that morning. She finally looked up, offering me a pitying, fake smile. "Don't take it personally, Morgan," she said, her voice high and sickly sweet. "It's just that, you know, you're single, you're in your 30s, having you there, standing alone in the photos. It's just a little sad. It brings down the mood. We want people to focus on us, not on pitying you." My father, who had been silent until now, cleared his throat. "It's for the best, sweetheart. Just stay home. We'll tell the guests you came down with the flu. You've done a great job with the planning, but let the family enjoy the spotlight now." I sat there, stunned. I looked at these 4 people. My family. They didn't see a daughter or a sister. They saw a checkbook. They saw a servant. For 6 months, I had been the one waking up at 4 a.m. to answer vendor emails. I was the one who smoothed over issues with the caterer. And most importantly, I was the one who had wired $55,000 of my hard-earned savings to fund this celebrity-style wedding because Tyler didn't have a dime to his name. "So," I said quietly, my hands trembling under the table, "you want me to vanish? After everything I've paid for?" "Oh, stop throwing money in our faces," my mother snapped, finally looking at me with annoyance. "That's exactly why we don't want you there. You always make everything about you and your money. Just pay the final installment for the venue tomorrow morning, and then take a vacation. We don't need you there." That was the moment. I didn't flip the table. I didn't scream. Something inside my chest just went click, like a light switch turning off. The part of me that desperately wanted their love just died. "Okay," I said. I wiped my mouth with the napkin and stood up. "If that's what you want, I won't be there." I walked out of the restaurant into the cool night air. They thought I was walking away in defeat. They had no idea that I wasn't just leaving dinner. I was about to burn their entire kingdom to the ground. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Morgan, and for most of my life, I believed that loyalty was the same thing as love. In our house, that belief kept me busy fixing problems no one acknowledged, filling gaps no one thanked me for, and carrying weight my family pretended didn't exist. If you've ever been the one in your family who gives everything only to be treated like nothing, this story is for you. Do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, because today, we are talking about how I dismantled a $50,000 wedding in less than 12 hours. To understand why I did what I did, you have to understand the dynamic in the Miller household. I'm 32, and I'm a project manager for a tech firm. I'm good at what I do because I'm organized, logical, and I don't panic under pressure. Then there's my brother Tyler. He's 35. Growing up, Tyler was the sun, and the rest of us were just planets orbiting him. My parents are old school, in the worst way possible. In their eyes, the son carries the legacy name. So the son gets everything. When Tyler got a C in math, the teacher was too hard. When I got an A, it was expected. When Tyler totaled his first car, Dad bought him a new one. When I needed money for college textbooks, I was told to get a waitressing job to build character. 5 years ago, my dad's hardware store was going under. Tyler had been managing it, which basically meant he sat in the back office playing video games while the IRS notices piled up. They were going to lose the house. They were going to lose everything. Who stepped in? Me. I used my bonus from work to pay off the back taxes. I spent my weekends, my only free time, restructuring their inventory and setting up a website. I saved the family business. Did I get a thank you? No. My dad slapped Tyler on the back and said, "Good job holding down the fort, son." I was invisible. I was the wallet. I was the safety net. But I stayed. I stayed because I thought, eventually, if I gave enough, if I paid enough, they would finally love me as much as they loved him. Then came Tiffany. Tiffany is, well, imagine a person whose entire personality is Instagram. She met Tyler at a bar, and within 3 months, she claimed she was pregnant. It turned out to be a false alarm that conveniently lasted until she got the engagement ring on her finger. Once the ring was on, the demands started. "I need a fairy tale wedding," she told my parents. "Tyler deserves the best, doesn't he?" My parents looked at me. "Morgan," my mom said, giving me that look, the look that said, "Do your duty. You're doing so well at work. You don't have kids. You don't have expenses. Help your brother out. It's a loan. We'll pay you back when the store picks up." They never paid me back for the tax bill 5 years ago. I knew they wouldn't pay me back for this. But I agreed. I agreed to a $20,000 budget. I was so naive. The planning phase was psychological torture. $20,000 vanished in the first month. Tiffany didn't want the local country club. She wanted the historic estate downtown. She didn't want a DJ. She wanted a 10-piece live band. She didn't want chicken. She wanted filet mignon and lobster tails. Every time I tried to pump the brakes, I was the villain. I'd say, "Tiffany, we can't afford imported peonies from Holland. Roses are fine." She would burst into tears. "Tyler, your sister is ruining my vision. She wants me to look cheap." Then my mom would call me, screaming, "Morgan, stop being so stingy. This is the most important day of their lives. Just put it on your credit card. You have that high limit, don't you?" By the week before the wedding, I was in the hole for $55,000. I had dipped into my 401k. I had maxed out 2 credit cards. I was exhausted. I was running on caffeine and anxiety. And the abuse didn't stop. 3 days before the wedding, Tiffany called me at work. "Morgan, I saw the seating chart draft." "Yeah? Is something wrong? Why are you at the head table?" "Because I'm the maid of honor? And the groom's sister." "Yeah, about that," she said, popping her gum in the phone. "I think it's better if you sit near the kitchen. You know, in case we need you to run and grab something. Plus, the head table is for couples. It'll look weird with you sitting there alone." I swallowed my pride. "Fine. I'll move my seat." I did everything they asked. I booked the limo. I confirmed the hotel block for the guests. I paid the final deposit for the photographer, an award-winning photographer who cost $6,000 for the day. And then came that dinner. The dinner where they told me my presence was bad luck. The dinner where they told me to pay the final venue fee and then disappear. That was the catalyst. When I left that restaurant, I didn't go home to cry. I drove to a hotel near the airport. I checked into a room. I poured myself a glass of wine from the minibar. And I opened my laptop. It was 9 p.m. on Friday. The wedding was scheduled for Saturday at 4 p.m. I looked at the spreadsheet. The master plan I had spent months building. Every single vendor, every single contract, was in my name. Not Tyler's, not my parents', mine, because my credit was the only one that wasn't trash. I started with the venue, the historic estate. I drafted an email to the event coordinator, Sarah, who I had become quite close with over the months. Subject: urgent, cancellation of Miller wedding. "Hi, Sarah. Due to unforeseen family circumstances and a hostile breakdown in the relationship, I am formally canceling the event scheduled for tomorrow. As the sole contract holder and financier, I am exercising my right to cancel. I understand I forfeit the deposit. Please lock the doors. Do not allow anyone from the Miller party access to the property. They do not have the funds to pay you." I hit send. Next, the caterer. "Cancel the food. All of it. Donate it to the homeless shelter if you've already prepped it. Do not deliver to the venue." I hit send. The florist, the band, the photographer, the limo service. One by one, I pulled the plug. It was like defusing a bomb, but in reverse. I was blowing up the bridge while they were still sleeping on it. At 10:30 p.m., I called the bank. "Hi, I'd like to report my credit card lost. Yes, please cancel it immediately and issue a new number. No, decline any pending charges from the last 24 hours." That ensured that if they tried to charge anything else, or if a vendor tried to run a card for damages, it would decline. By 11 p.m., I was done. I had just evaporated a $60,000 event. I turned off my phone. I took the SIM card out. I booked a flight to Hawaii using my frequent flyer miles. It left at 6 a.m. I went to sleep. And let me tell you, I slept like a baby. I wasn't there to see it. But my cousin Jenna, the only sane person in my family, filled me in later. And honestly, it was better than I could have imagined. Saturday morning started with confusion. My mom and Tiffany were at the salon. Or, they tried to be. When they went to pay for their hair and makeup, the card on file was declined. My mom tried to use her card. Declined, it was maxed out. Tiffany had to call her dad to pay over the phone. She was furious, trying to call me. "Where is Morgan? Why is her card off?" At 1 p.m., the limo didn't show up. Tyler was standing in the driveway in his tuxedo, sweating. "Where the hell is the driver?" he screamed. They had to pile into my dad's beat-up Ford Explorer and Tiffany's Honda Civic. Tiffany's dress, that massive ball gown, got grease on it from the car door. But the real show started at 3:30 p.m. Guests started arriving at the historic estate. About 150 people. But the gates were locked. There was a security guard standing there with a clipboard. When Tyler pulled up, he marched over to the guard. "Open the gate, I'm the groom." The guard looked at the list. "Sorry, sir. This event was cancelled by the contract holder, Miss Morgan Miller, last night. We cannot grant access." "Cancelled." Tyler's face went purple. "I didn't cancel anything. Open the gate. Unless you can provide a payment of $25,000 right now to cover the remaining balance and the reopening fee, you need to leave. You are trespassing." $25,000. Tyler didn't have $25. My parents were screaming at the guard. Guests were standing on the sidewalk, whispering. Did they break up? Did the check bounce? Then the florist van pulled up and drove right past them. The driver gave a little wave and kept going. The band didn't show up. The food didn't show up. It was 90 degrees out. People were sweating in their suits. Tiffany had a full-blown meltdown right there on the sidewalk. She threw her bouquet, which she had to buy from a grocery store because the florist canceled at Tyler. "You said you handled it," she shrieked. "You said your sister was taking care of it." "She was supposed to," Tyler yelled back. Eventually, the police were called because my dad tried to climb the fence to talk to the manager. The wedding didn't happen. Everyone ended up at a dive bar down the street. Guests were buying their own drinks. Tiffany sat in a booth crying mascara tears into a Bud Light. I turned my phone back on 3 days later. Once I was settled in a bungalow on the beach in Maui. You wouldn't believe the voicemail box. It was full. 37 messages from Mom, 20 from Dad, 50 from Tyler, calling me a snake, a traitor, a monster. "How could you do this to your family? You ruined everything. You need to fix this right now." I didn't listen to all of them. I listened to one, deleted the rest, and then I sent one single email to the entire family group chat. "Dear family, you told me my presence was unwanted. You told me I was bad luck and that I didn't fit your aesthetic. You asked me to vanish. So I did. But since I was the one paying for the party vanished with me. You can't treat someone like a bank account and then expect them to stay open when you spit in their face. I'm taking a permanent vacation from this family. Do not contact me." Where are we now? It's been 6 months. Tyler and Tiffany broke up 2 weeks after the wedding. Turns out, Tiffany wasn't interested in a man who couldn't provide the fairy tale lifestyle. She pawned the ring and blocked him. My parents are facing bankruptcy again. Without my monthly contributions, the store is sinking. They had to sell their house and move into a small apartment. They tried to sue me, but my lawyer, who I happily paid for with the money I saved, laughed them out of the office. The contracts were in my name. I had every legal right to cancel. As for me, I'm still paying off some of the debt from the deposits I lost, but it's worth every penny. I have a new apartment. I have new friends who actually like me for me, not for what I can buy them. Silence, I learned, is expensive. But freedom? Freedom is priceless. So, to anyone listening who feels like they're the wallet of their family, close the bank, cut them off. If they say you're bad luck, show them just how unlucky they are without you. Thanks for listening. Let me know in the comments. Was I too harsh? Or did they get exactly what they deserved? Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next story.